Welcome to a new Daily Top Askreddit video. Today's topic:
how did your first time having sex really go? I have a small dick, and turns out that is important when selecting condoms. My first time, the condom came off, I had no idea, and I came inside her. Plan B to the rescue. I love Reddit, it really is a magical place. I mean, I barely grazed the entrance and I released a Hidden Valley Ranch bottle's worth, instantly. Our poetry. I laughed so fucking hard at this. Can relate to that. I remember reading in a forum, one of those ancient internet things, someone asking for advice for his first time. The response that stuck with me was someone saying, "Don't worry too much, it's going to be over as soon as you touch a pubic hair." It was good, she was a couple months older, experienced and very kind. It was in a tent on a hiking trip. Everyone else had gone on a walk that we had passed on and were left looking after camp. She was flirty and asked if I wanted to pass the time. I admitted I was a virgin. She said she was happy to teach me. She warned I'd be really fast, so she gave me a HJ first, which was amazing but lasted seconds. Tears of joy. Then she got me hard again and we did it. That didn't last too long either, but she was okay about it. Fuck, that's awesome, man. A woman that understands and is experienced is a joy. Man, that sounds fucking intense. Guarantee she told the other girls to get everyone else to leave so she could hook up with you. Guys are oblivious to this one trick. I blacked out, puked while inside her, and she ended up hosing me off in the shower while the condom just hung off my limp dick for the next hour or so. I was nervous, lol. Brother, if he barfed during sex and she took the time to hose him off, he should be saying wifey. Lasted about 10 seconds. You dropped this king crown. I love Reddit for comments like this. First time, she gets on top. Lasted 4 seconds. Married her, because of other reasons, and now I last 7 seconds. Still working on stamina after 6 years of marriage. Hope to last at least 10 seconds by 2030. Keep trying, king crown. It was with a girl I matched with on Tinder. I wasn't particularly attracted to her, but she was willing and I wasn't desperate and horny to lose my virginity already. She came over and we got right down to it, and I was so nervous that I couldn't stay hard long enough to put the condom on. After the third condom failed, she finally said, "I'm on the pill, just stick it in," and I was stupidly enough to say okay, and so I went full on raw dog. Up to that point in life, it was the greatest sensation I'd ever felt. The position we were in was she was laying at the edge of the bed and I was standing between her legs with them wrapped around my waist. We took it slow for the first bit and then she told me to just fuck me already, and so I went as hard as my 22-year-old self could go. I think because I was so nervous, I ended up lasting longer than I thought I would. I fucked her for a good 15 minutes, and the most embarrassing thing about my first time is once I got really into it, I just started screaming, "I feel it. I feel it." IDK what the fuck I was feeling, but whatever it was I was feeling it. Tears of joy. I finally shot my load and just sat on my knees for a while. Eventually she left and I just laid in bed feeling amazing but also gross and joyous and shameful. I unmatched her that night and never saw her again. Are you feeling it now, Mr. Krabs? Screaming, "I feel it," is absolutely hilarious. Going in raw is one of the best feelings in the world though. Really didn't know what to expect. I was 19, she was 17. First time for both. Saw a few porn flicks prior. Yes, it was loving, caring and affectionate. Long build up in her bed. Then when I finally got inside and made a few pumps, all that went through my head was, is this it? What's the big deal? Absolutely not saying I didn't enjoy it, but not what I expected. But the second time a week later was the charm. Totally different reaction. Like it so much I married her. I married my first too. First time was great, we'd been together several months already so we loved each other. Both 18. It was in my dorm room and I remember it like yesterday even though it was almost 30 years ago. Still happy together. I matched with this girl on Hinge when I was 25 and we went on 2 dates. We kissed on the first date, hit like 2/3 base on the second date. Third time we met, she was at home working and I was studying at my house and I said I could come over and we could work together on our own stuff. I drove like an hour to her place and we did like work on our stuff for like an hour, but sexy time started because I was thinking with my other head. We did the deed. I didn't last very long, but after we finished, she started crying. She thought I was gonna just hit it and quit it and leave right after doing the deed. So I felt kinda bad and asked if she wanted to start dating and just slept over. We had sex again like a couple hours later and it was a little bit better. 10 months of the most toxic relationship I've ever had, but I definitely got a lot better at sex, I think. We would do it like 2 to 3 times a day and she would hit that a lot more than I did. What flavor of toxic are we talking here? I do love to hear other people's versions of my relationship fuck-ups. She was the classic anxious attachment kinda girl. Moved from like Ohio to NY. From a Latino family. Needed constant validation, said I love you so many times a day and needed to hear it back. I broke up with her 3x, but after the first time, the literal next day, she said she went to talk to some guy about how lonely she was feeling and ended up giving the guy a handy slightly smiling face. Anyways, the last and final thing that pushed me to break up with her was when I introduced her to my longtime friends during July 4th, and during the fireworks she started freaking out and acted the fact. She said it triggered her from a moment in life when her stepdad had beat her. Sex was amazing though. I think about it from time to time. First time was amazing. Made it to 18 without sex, intercourse. Went into the military, met an airman girl, we locked ourselves in a hotel for a weekend and did it 13 times. We didn't even bother putting on clothes and ordered room service. That sounds like the dream weekend lol. Brother was in virgin heaven. I was on acid at a festival when I was 15. Pulled this random girl I've never seen before, had sex with her in my tent. The walls were breathing weird at me, had to stop for a cigarette halfway through. After about 30/40ths of a minute we left the tent and all my friends were outside my tent drinking cheap booze and laughing at us. Good times. What the fuck was your childhood like? I suppose your username checks out though. It was a very fun time. From a small town in England, so there wasn't much to do as a bored 14-15, 16-year-old other than go get pissed in a field and fuck around with whatever drugs were available. Not my first time, but when I first met my husband we went on a vision quest to Death Valley. One night we took MDMA and did a hike up the mountain to watch the sunrise. It was epic. Came back down to our tent and had the most amazing sex listening to Mount Eden by Sierra Leone. It was 10 out of 10. I remember laying back breathless and all of a sudden hearing clapping and cheering. We completely zoned out and forgot we were at a campsite. It was a good crowd. The hole was a lot lower than I expected. Are you sure you got the right one, Butt Toucher? That's Dr. Butt Toucher. Man's got a PhD. Please address him as Dr. Butt Toucher. So I have a smaller dick. When that time came I wanted to be honest and told the truth before it got pulled out. She didn't care. She told me to stop worrying so much as she spit on that thing and sat right down on it. Up to that point it best 2 minutes of my life. Felt that shit bro. Like it might be small but it can absolutely get the job done. The girl I've been hooking up with rode the shit out of it this past weekend. She literally stretched one of my shirts out and my pelvis still hurts. I'm the first person that has ever actually rode my boyfriend. He's had people on top before but always had to do the work. The first time I rode him I did so for about 15 minutes and until he finished. For the 2 days after he said it felt like I bruised his pelvis and like I was the one fucking him skull. I was not able to properly enter her. She was a virgin and so tight. My tip was barely able to fit and it was painful for her. I didn't want to push it, so we were really happy doing other stuff. It was important to me that she was completely comfortable than actually fucking her. You're a hero for that. As a girl this is a beautiful statement. Thanks. IDK growing up a straightforward mom, I guess it was passively ingrained in me to respect comfort over my own pleasure or needs. It was my first love. We were 15 and 16. We had been trying for a while but it hurt me every time, so we weren't really expecting anything. We were clothed, under the covers of my bed, I was under him and I was about to fall lol. It went in so easily and it didn't hurt at all after months of failed attempts. We looked at each other in shock and excitement, it was so sweet. It was the first time for both of us, so it obviously wasn't the best sex ever, but it was a great experience and I remember it fondly. 2 hearts. That's actually cute, tears of joy. A woman answered my personals ad. We went to dinner and saw the original, I Know What You Did Last Summer. I was kinda shy, inexperienced, even at 25. The date went well and we had a great time talking. We kissed for a while. At one point, she asked, "What's on your mind?" and I replied, "I'd like to make out with you." She said, "Here or at my apartment." Suddenly, I knew I had advanced and any previous timidness should be avoided. Your apartment. We arrived in separate cars, so the drive following her was filled with incredible anticipation. I don't think my heart ever raced so fast. We got there, and my inexperience showed. I had never unhooked a bra, and hers unhooked from the front. I fumbled with my hands in the back until she gently teased me by saying, "No, not there," and guided my hands. We proceeded to other things and pretty soon, I realized it would all happen tonight. I lasted a long time, but felt like I didn't know what I was doing. After I came, while laying there together, I felt like I should apologize for my inexperience. I came 5 times. Are you sure you were a virgin? But as we were there, the local soft rock station had shifted to Christian radio and some song had a verse that had something like, "God is always watching you." I had a mix of ecstasy and guilt that I literally fucked up. I had conflicted feelings of, who would have sex with Me on a first date? We went out a couple more times, but didn't have sex again. She ghosted me because she was getting close and was afraid of getting hurt. A year later, she wrote a letter apologizing for ghosting me. I was dating someone new and never replied. I feel guilty to this day 25 plus years later for never answering. It was a bold move from her. Our orbits have come close to crossing via her nephew attending the same school as my children. It's a regret, not for any longing. I guess it was appropriate to answer and I didn't. I should have embraced that moment guilt-free. Religion can be positive but can impact negatively, especially with sex. I guess it was appropriate to answer and I didn't. She ghosted you first. A year later you'd moved on with your life, ignoring it is definitely totally acceptable IMO.